Welcome back to Franchise Hockey Manager 11 with the Philadelphia Flyers. To start episode 1 of Face of the Franchise, we find ourselves at the beginning of the season where the team to beat this year is the Edmonton Oilers. They were the team to beat last year as well, but couldn't quite bring it home in the Stanley Cup Finals. Toronto is also one of the top teams as well, and so is Colorado. I'm surprised that Toronto's in there considering they can't get out of the first round, and until they do that, I don't really see them as a contender at any point. The scoring race will likely be between Connor McDavid and Leonid Draisaitl and Kucherov. I don't know if you can really count Kucherov in that. I do think Stamkos, at least in the game, did help Kucherov get as many points as what he did, and as many goals as well. I see it going to someone else. I feel as though there's going to be a dark horse that no one's really going to see, and I don't really see Tampa Bay winning this season either. And then among goaltenders, Joey Decor and Hellebuck and Aiden Hill are projected to be the finalists for the Vezina. I mean, I don't really see it, but who knows? I don't really know who the top goalies are at this point. We might as well look at positional rankings to kind of see it. And yeah, Hellebuck, Shesterkin, and Valesky as well. I'm always a big believer of Jake Ottinger, and I mean UC Saros has to be considered as well, considering they did get rid of Askarov for nothing. I don't know why they got rid of him for so cheap. I feel as though they could have at least built a little bit more on that, and just add a little bit more to that trade offer. Players that we end up signing, we'll start this off. We did get rid of Bowles, but I think that was before we even took over. Delorier, you saw that we ended up getting rid for a fourth rounder, just to kind of see how it worked. We did get Demidov, who he is Russian. It's mainly the reason why we ended up getting him. He's not going to play for us this season. He's still in the KHL. He is 18 years old, so once he ends up hitting 19, it should be able to come to our team within the next 2 seasons, hopefully. Defensive rating's not really there, so we're going to have to adjust our team accordingly to that when he does come on. But we did get him for Ciernik and a first-round pick as well, the Colorado pick that we have. I mean, it's just one of those moves that you kind of have to do. Ciernik, I mean, he's not that great now, but just 19, fourth-round pick. He could still manage to do something decent. We might have fleeced them a bit, but we'll have to look at the trade overall later on, and we might give back Montreal Canadiens something for that because we're still figuring out the trade engine on this. Cern we end up getting from Nashville as well. Potential 4.0. He was a first-round pick late, mind you, but still a first-round pick. We got him also because he's Russian, just to get that Russian connection started early on. We did give up Poling and then the rights to Berkland, who was a second-round pick, pretty close to what Surin was. Projected to be around a 3-star there, or I guess 3.0 is what you would say. But those are the moves that we end up having to do. We did sign Rhett Garner from our AHL team. We gave up Ristolainen for a 5th. We gave up Konecki for Zetterlund and a 5th-round pick. Like I said, I just wanted a little bit younger. His physical's pretty good. His mental's pretty good. And, I mean, I think his defensive is pretty decent. Contract-wise, we did extend him to $4 million a year contract over 3 years. Noah Cates we extended, Cam York we extended, and Morgan Frost as well with Forster as well. Free agents, we did get Jeremy Lagua for a camp invite. We didn't end up re-signing him, so he's playing with the Quebec Nationals. We did bring in Luchenko for tryouts, but we sent him to Guelph Storm for the whole season. I don't think he's ready. I know a lot of teams will play a 1.5 star, but I need at least 2.5 before I even consider that. We did make some other attempts in terms of trades. Hopefully it ends up popping up here, but one of the players was projected to go on waivers. So we weren't quite able to get any players on waivers, but he was the only one that was available. So in terms of goaltenders, but I mean, we'll kind of see if they do accept it. Seems like a couple days are going by, and they did accept it. So we ended up giving up Brian Zanetti and a fourth-round pick for Michael DiPietro. He is 25, but I feel as though he's still a little bit more of an upgrade from what we have now. Even though they will say that that he isn't. So it does give us the chance to send someone down if we want. I think at least the Fedotov has to probably go. Yeah, we're going to put him on waivers. At least we have a 25 and a 24-year-old to really be able to build off there. Granted, in terms of our depth charts, we still have Kolosov that should be coming up next season, I hope. Jury's still out on him. 885 in the AHL is not a good start, so he has all the time in the world to really develop. Demidov, as you can see, is our fourth best right winger. I'm going to want him to play at least maybe left winger if we can. That is an area that we're definitely going to need to improve over the course of the next couple seasons, because we have Surin as well as a right winger, a center, and I don't really see him as being a right winger or a left winger. So hopefully in the next couple seasons he's going to be able to start as well. But we'll do what we do most of the time and just allow our AI to kind of take over. I don't like to do any adjustments other than the initial ones that I do to start the season, and we'll kind of take it from there. The teams that have been actually surprisingly active, see if I can find it. I'm never going to get used to Utah Hockey Club. Just seems a little out of place. But the transactions, let's see. Transaction logs. We'll just go just trades. They were ridiculously active, and I don't think I've seen a team more active. They got rid of Yamamoto for Glendening. I don't know why they did that. Angelo, and then they got rid of Glendening back to. How does that make any sense? They gave him. No, they traded him. Where is Glendening now? So they gave back Glendening. Oh, that is weird. Okay, so they trade him for Yamamoto. Then a couple weeks later, they end up trading Glendening for a second-round pick. That is weird. Another trade with Tampa where they probably give back that second-round pick. That is ridiculously active. Koch for Lockwood, and then they gave up Hayton. I don't know why. Contract-wise, he still has 2 years. And Luostarinen, I mean, they're relatively the same player, and you're paying more for him. How does that make any sense? I don't understand. I guess we'll never understand that, but so far we don't want to do too well in this season so far. DiPietro, yeah, we're gonna get that. Yeah, we'll just give him 30, I guess. Not gonna do anything else. We're not gonna try and completely overhaul the team as of yet. We're gonna do that throughout the season and kind of take it from there. It is kind of frustrating not having any games for like the first 2 weeks, whereas Buffalo and Devils have already played. Same thing with Utah and Blues, but now it seems like all the teams are getting ready here. We go on the road to start this off, Vancouver and Calgary, and I expect losses there. We're going to kind of change it up to make sure that our prospects are where they need to, and then we're going to kind of lock it in. I do feel as though the injuries are a bit more likely in this situation. I think Michkov is gonna have to start. Couturier can start as well. He's pretty defensive, and I want Frost to start it off. Farabee as well. I like those lines. Scott Lawton, Zetterlund, and Richard. Gardner, Forster, and Brink. Not too bad. The only difference is maybe I would put Forster up there. But we'll kind of take it from there and see how we do in the first game of the season. Started off a 4-1 loss. That is exactly what I would expect. Hronik, Meyer scores, and then Ronnie Attard, who I don't think anyone really expects anything out of. 2-star player manages to get our first goal of the season. I think it's going to come down to goalies for the most part. Starting off in the basement of the league, kind of like how they are now. And yeah, let's take this back to back. I know I could do, actually I can do AI setup organization here. That'll probably be easier. Put DiPietro to start his first game of the season. And we win 5-2, so already hit the win total so far for the Philadelphia Flyers. Drysdale, Tippett, Zetterlund, and Cates, as well as Frost getting the one at the very end. I think that did adjust Michkov on the second line now. But I don't see that lasting for the whole season. I think eventually he finds his way to the top line, but I think we found our goalie, at least for the season, to start this off. 9.51 save percentage is pretty good. We don't want to do too well. We don't want to do too bad. You can take a look at the prospects as well. So, who are the people that we want to kind of see here? It's going to take me a while to figure out how to navigate everything. Scouting. And top is Hoggins. A center. We definitely need a center as well. And then Michael Misa as well. Torn pectoral. He doesn't look like he's going to develop at all this season, so it's going to be a bit of a gamble if we grab him. Shergood also. I think we need a center or a left winger. So defense, I think we're kind of short up for at least the first line and a half, but I do like Alex Wong. I liked him last season too. He ended up being like a 5-star, so we end up losing to the runners-up of last year. Corey Perry's still with them as well. Bouchard scores against us. Farabee. I remember grabbing Bouchard in fantasy, and for whatever reason, the one season where I don't end up picking him up or drafting him, someone else ends up getting him, and I'll never be able to accept that anymore. So we kind of hit everything, a win, a loss, and an overtime loss as well. But it still leaves us at the bottom. I do think this is a fairly competitive division as well. Rangers and Hurricanes are always going to be at the top, and I do think New Jersey are definitely a team to look for. See Utah making another trade as well. Kolikov for Agazino. That's a crazy amount of trades, just in such a short time frame. So we'll shore this up again. I don't know why Earson is the one that's looking at. I guess because of the current ability, but I don't really see it. Let's leave him there though. 4-2 loss, and Frost gets his second, and Bobby Brink gets his first. So far, I haven't seen Michkov in terms of points total. I don't think he's gotten anything, so we'll kind of look at it after around 10 games, and then kind of see where we're headed this season, and make the changes necessary. Because we're obviously going to trade before the trade deadline, and kind of yeah, just trade away players. I don't really see it. I guess Tippett kind of goes on that spot. Every time you do AI, it changes it up. We do manage to get a shutout, though. Michkov getting his first goal. How many points does he have? And his first point, so he gets to keep the puck on the game winner there. Lexell is now injured as well. We'll just adjust that. Herniated disc 1 to 2 months. Fantastic. We'll send him to the IR. Two wins, 2 losses, and 1 overtime. I mean, 5 points isn't that bad, but as you can see, it's pretty competitive here. But New Jersey obviously playing the most amount of games out of anyone. Who's currently at the bottom? Looks like Canucks, the only win that they end up having was against us. That is not that's not a good feeling there. But I am excited to see yeah, we're gonna have to adjust it again. I'm excited to see the training and what's happening here. Number signed. I kind of wish that that's just an automatic thing. Because we shouldn't have to do it. It should just do it automatically. If we want to intervene, we can. But that was always something about the game last year where it kind of messed up with the flow. So back-to-back wins here. I didn't even know that they had Mangiapane. But we are scoreless in the first, come back in the second with Sanheim, Farabee, and Forster. And then Bobby Brink and then Zetterlund getting the 2 daggers there to end it for us. Alright, I already did that, but face off against Washington again. This time we're going to have to switch our goalies. And in terms of potential-wise, our Michkov is a little bit tired, but I mean, I'm sure they're going to be just as tired. So if we can get back-to-back wins here, it's going to be a better season than what we thought. 5-2 the opposite way. Farabee getting 2 goals there. No one else other than that. I don't know why the media would think that we're going to play that well. See, the play was in fact a major loss. Okay. I'm not even going to touch that one. There's no good that can come from it. So we're going to play around 10, 12 games and end this on a high note, hopefully. And then kind of look at the stats to start the season and see if we should move on from anyone, because this is, I project this to be around three seasons until we really start pushing. I think as soon as Demidov ends up coming to our team, it'll be a definite game changer there. But back-to-back games are always something that I hate. And then an 8-7 loss. Oh my god, is it in overtime too? So, scoring frenzy, Cates, Michkov, and Rizzo end up getting goals in the first. They come back in the second to tie it up. Scott Lawton, so we scored 4 straight, then conceded 4 straight. And then, or sorry, they conceded 6 straight. Got 2 there, and then 1-1 the other way. Kaprizov killing it for us. I always liked Boldy as well. Let's see. Boldy, yeah, I doubt that we can afford him. And we would be able to afford his contract, but I don't think we'd be able to afford the trade for him. Montreal, and then going towards Boston, so have to switch up our goalies there. I do think DiPietro can be our backup. I do think it was a worthwhile trade for sure, and he's kind of proving me right as I say that. Farabee, Michkov getting on the score sheet, as well as Zetterlund, Zamula, Forster, and Rizzo. Rizzo's surprisingly doing decent. 2.5 star. I never even heard of this guy. No defensive rating to really speak of. And now he converts to left wing, so good start. Go up to Boston, who's been struggling. We've actually been doing better than Boston, so we should be able to win this one as well. I guess the game's not really thinking these can do as good. We'll have to take a look at the comparison between what's actually happening in the league and what's happening in this game. because it'll be interesting to see. And we should be good there. Corpusalo, their backup, is playing, and they managed to get the win anyways. So riddle me that. Morgan Frost getting a goal, well, 2 goals there, and then Tippett and then Richard before us being blanked in the third, which ended up being our demise for sure. Garner improves at left wing. I think he's kind of a dark horse. I don't think his defensive ratings are pretty good. Offensive isn't quite there. Physical is not there either. But defensive, he is pretty good. 4-4-2 amongst 10 games. We'll finish off these couple games here. Hopefully end on a high note, and we'll kind of take a look at the stats. But I do think that we do need to focus more on developing our backup goalie. I think DiPietro is probably the guy that needs to start. I don't think Earson's really going to do it for us. 5-2. Managed to win again. And then York, Richard, and then Couturier. Couturier getting his first goal of the season. Oh, dishing out all the assists, though. 7 through 11 is not too bad. Farabee getting his 8th goal. We should be able to trade him for something good. But at the same time, we did extend him, and not going to give him up for nothing. But currently top 4 in terms of the goal hunt. And Jack Hughes just looking like he's going to run away with it this season. Monthly budget, we don't need to worry about anything. No morale. We're not focusing on making the playoffs. I think it'd be silly to think that. But currently 4th place, though. 11 games. See if we can manage to get a win against Boston here. And see if we can end this on a high note. I know we did get the win against St. Louis, but we'll end up doing this and we'll jump towards the trade deadline and then conclude this season shortly afterwards. Carolina is the next one, so I feel as though we could easily lose these next 2 games. Morgan Frost looks like he's sitting this one out. I'm going to go with DiPietro. I think he should be able to get this. 5-3 win, so we managed to win back-to-back games. I do like that. Points-wise, we are 14th, or sorry, tied for 6th with 14. Their points total is 27th. And goals against, I mean, it's not as bad. I mean, 27th in the league, though, but they're 31. I would have thought their goaltending would be figured at least a little bit more. But we win 5-3. Farabee gets a goal. Owen Tippett. Gardner gets his first. Bobby Brink as well. And then Tippett gets one to end it all. So currently, in terms of the season, wildcard-wise, we are at the top of the wildcard. Wouldn't have thought that. Devils are currently below us. I wouldn't have guessed that. Our home record is amazing. Our away record is terrible. And we are on a 2-game win streak for the first 12 games of the season, which is way better than what they're doing in real life. Probably because we haven't completely gutted the team yet. We still have, I think, Columbus's pick as well, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look. No, Edmonton's. Okay, so we do want Edmonton to suck, which I don't think they are. No, they're definitely not. They're going to make the playoffs for sure. So that pick's not going to mean anything. And let's see if we manage to make a mistake here. Colorado. I mean, the West just looks so much more threatening than ours. But we'll look at our player stats, see if we can make any adjustments necessary. Offense-wise, Farabee with 18 points. So he is the lone soldier taking it on for us. Good defensive as well. Good counterattacking. He's pretty good physically. Determination, a team player. I mean, 24, yeah, we probably don't want to get rid of him. He still can pretty much be the core as well. He was already extended before us, and we look like we're going to keep that Couturier not doing as well as I would have hoped. Anthony Richard doing pretty good at 27. Pretty serviceable, I will say that. Forster doing pretty good. 9 points in 11 games. Drysdale doing very well for our top defenseman, and Frost, despite missing 2 games, almost a point per game pace. So I will take that all day long. Power play points. Farabee, Tippin, Drysdale, all with the top ones there as well. We'll take a look at our goalie stats. It always tells a tale. And yeah, DPHO should be our starter, no doubt. 930 save percentage in 6 games versus 898. I'm sure one of those is the 8-7 loss that we end up having against Minnesota, but 2-3-1 versus 4-1-1. So looks like this was a masterclass of picking the right goaltender, at least for the next couple seasons for us. And I don't know why everyone kind of gave up on him. I do think he is probably better than what his records suggest, even in real life. AHL, mind you, didn't really play, or is not showing his win total, which is kind of weird. Yeah, I don't like that at all. But we'll look at the league once more and see if anything kind of surprises us. Nashville's currently doing a lot better than what they're doing in real life. Same thing with Colorado. Blackhawks are kind of where they're at. Pittsburgh, a little bit better than that. Same thing with Capitals. Everything else kind of looks right. Maple Leafs as well. Buffalo Sabres are currently at the bottom. So this game definitely favors Buffalo for whatever reason. And Canadians also doing far better than what I would have thought. Bruins towards the bottom, and same thing with Detroit over there. Vancouver isn't doing quite that well either in real life, so it is pretty accurate. Sharks as well. But yeah, Edmonton should be running away with it. I don't know why Calgary's at the top currently. Dallas, Wild, and Blues, that does seem right if I'm not mistaken. But we'll bounce back and jump to trade deadline and see where this team is going from there. And as we get closer to the trade deadline, the only thing worth noting is that Mitch Marner re-signs with Toronto for $8.5 million. That is never going to happen in the world. So, I mean, the AI has to figure that out, because there's no way that Mitch Marner is signing for that little bit and staying in Toronto. Trade deadline's nearing, but we haven't made any adjustments yet. Currently, accidentally in 5th place. We were doing pretty well before. We were top 3, top 5 a little bit, and now we find ourselves accidentally getting out of lottery pick area, which we definitely want to see our team start to crumble, because there's not much separating 58 and 52. So we could be a top 4 team in terms of the draft, but we keep winning. And that's just not going to work for me. Trade deadline, I don't really see us doing anything. We have a couple players on transfer offers or trade block, but no one's really budging towards them. So unfortunately, yeah, we're looks like we're gonna be stuck with them, and we can't really do anything with that. Thank God we finally lose against Pittsburgh, because we have been making it so easy against them. 6-3 loss, and Farabee getting a goal. Same thing with Couturier and Frost. Couturier not really doing that well. He's definitely a guy that we're going to have to move on from if we want to be successful. Farabee currently point per game, Tippett with 52, Michkov with 46, and Drysdale with 40. As you can see, 33 points for Couturier is not nearly good enough. Lawton, though, however, 32 points in 58 games isn't that bad, considering he's not really playing. He's playing at least 3 minutes less than Couturier, so it's not too bad. But I mean, we definitely want to go younger, and that's kind of be the kind of focus. 3 to 4 months. So we lose Eric Johnson. and I don't think we really have anything to replace him with. Some of our prospects are doing pretty good though, and I just want to see kind of how this ends up working out, because we do want, obviously, if we can get Hoggins, we'll want that. Spence, just as good though. I will take him as well. Top three. Misa, we do need, like I said, center. Even D we could take, but I feel as though we need more of a center or a left winger. Preferably center, because just someone to kind of build the team with would be nice. It's made a request, draft a local player. Alright, we'll try and do that, but it's definitely not going to be our first pick. That is for sure. And I don't care that he gets upset. We just want to lose. I'm okay with upsetting every single player on our team, just so we end up moving further down the totem pole of the draft lottery. Currently, Edmonton, team that we end up having most of their or not most of their players. We have their first overall pick, and I don't think it's really going to help us. Lachanko, the guy that we sent on loan, could have probably started for us based on what it's looking like, but I don't make a habit of starting 18-year-old players, so I'd rather him sit this one out. Does look like everything's kind of developing pretty well. Again, his defensive rating's not that great, and I mean, if I can get someone that's more of an overall better player to play with him, that'd be fantastic. Kolosov, not doing too great in terms of win-losses, but 907 save percentage, not too bad. His mental rating's pretty decent, but still only 1.5 stars there. Surin, looking like he's developing a decent little bit. Nothing really stands out for me. Passing's okay, offensive read's okay, but nothing really jumping out there for me. We might have lost that trade just off the surface. And then nothing really jumping out. Forcer's still 2.5. I think we just go extremely young next season for sure. Frost now at the top with Michkov. And good thing we lose that one. I'm very happy with that. Zetterlund has been injured for more than half the season and only playing 25 games for us. Getting 11 points. His grade 64 though. And I do think that we started to not perform that well as soon as he ended up getting injured. But now is about the time where we kind of made the decision that we do want to sacrifice the current season for future seasons. I don't think we would have been able to do very well in the postseason anyways. So probably good. Now Farabee's out as well. And yeah, I don't really see anything happening. We'll try and do the trades again, but shopping some of these players, no one really wants. Like Farabee's the only one that we could really get something for. But Noah Cates, let's look at what we could get for that guy. No one's gonna want him either. Tyson Forster wouldn't be that bad. Yeah, Couturier will shop again. And again, no one's gonna want him. At least not at this point. I'm pretty sure we can probably dump him. Starting him next season, we can probably get some picks for him, or at least one, either for the upcoming or this season. But looks like nothing's going to come through. No one's offered us anything, and the trade block's not really working in our favor. I can say that honestly. They've been on it for a little while, but yeah, haven't really been able to muster anything from that. 5-4 loss. Hopefully it's in regulation. No, it's in OT. We did come back though, so nobody's telling the players that. Oh no, just don't be an ACL tear. Broken collarbone, 1 to 2 months. Well, there's our season, guys. Would you like to delay his treatment? No. There's no point. So hopefully with Michkov out, we can solely focus on tanking. With 20 games left, I feel as though that's our best bet. But it does suck that he's not going to be able to develop for the remainder of the season. Faraby's now in. Now we can at least look at what our team looks like without him. A 3-2 win, unfortunately. At least it's an OT, but I think they're nowhere close to where we are. I think Winnipeg's not a terrible team. Yeah, they're actually pretty decent. But 61, we want to get down. At least everyone else looks like they're performing right around the time that we are. So that is not the worst thing. Face off against Seattle. Hopefully we lose this one. And we lose pretty deservedly. 5-1. Tippett's the only one with the goal. Couturier getting an assist on that as well. Surprisingly, Anaheim's top 3 in the Pacific. Wouldn't have thought that to start the season off. But on paper, their team just looks very, very good. So it doesn't really surprise me that much. But, I mean, sometimes games end up having biases towards certain teams. Drysdale, Couturier, Frost, and Cates. Cates with 18 goals this season. Bumps us up to 63. Good thing we have 2 extra games on Capitals. And hopefully most teams. Nope, doesn't look like it. 63 is pretty good. Farabee looks like he's coming back. Don't say it. They face off against Ottawa. We'll probably be able to make quick work of this. 4-2 win. Not even when we want to lose, we can lose. And that bumps us up just ahead of Ottawa as well. Obviously, I don't want to go out of our way to tank. It's more so just a simulation. We don't want to influence it too much. I don't want to decide to sit players just for the sake of sitting them. To be able to do that, feels that's a little bit cheating, and we should forfeit a first-round pick if we end up doing stuff like that. Couturier showing up now when the season doesn't matter. Owen Tippett now out. He is out with a strained Achilles tendon, so probably the remainder of the season. If I had to guess. 2-3 weeks? Yeah, probably. Was it 15 games left? Around that? No, he'll probably come back for the last like 3. Brent Burns might retire. And let's see what happens here. Looking like a shell of the team that we had to start the season. 7-0 loss. That is what I like to see. No point in looking at stats because, let's face it, no one ended up getting any points there. And bumps us down. Now we're in second last place, just above Columbus. And 67 is good enough to probably be bottom 8, it looks like. But hopefully the other teams start to do a lot better now. I'm not going to change anything with what we've done. We'll take a look, and somehow we didn't move from where we were before. And there's a more sizable gap now between the bottom. And Bruins have played more games than we have. That is unfortunate. Hopefully Tampa can put us out of our misery. We lose 2-1 in regulation. That is what I like to see. Louis Belpedio. I don't even know who that is. Still tied with Capitals with 2 games at hand. We do face off Washington. At least they bumped up a little bit. It's not that I want a top pick, because I just want someone that can feature with him, with Michkov for next season. Bobby Brink, Farabee, and that's all she wrote. 70 games in, only 12 games left. I think we can manage to secure the bottom positions now. It looks like Blackhawks are now starting to push up as well. Honestly, if we can lose at least like 10 of our last games, I would be happy. Getting shutout is perfect as well. No point out looking at the stats. We now have Chicago here. And I'm not even gonna acknowledge that. Farabee suspended. That's cool too. Might as well give DiPietro a start here. I think Erson's terrible. I think his grade might be a little bit higher than that, but yeah, he doesn't look too great. 73 is what his grade is, but I don't buy that. I accidentally got into the sim engine, and we accidentally won 4-1. So that's a bad. That's just bad luck. It does put us 1 point ahead of them, but they have an extra game at hand. As long as they can win that game. But after beating them 4-1, it does not look like they are destined to do it. We're going to win this game too. Nope, 3-0 loss. Joseph Wall has a shutout against us. I don't normally like to lose to Toronto, but I think this is the 1 year exception. Montreal as well, but I think they're destined to be bottom 4. They started off really hot. They were actually top 3 in the East, so it's kind of shocking that they managed to fall from grace. And Buffalo was at the top. I'm not sure exactly where they are now. See if we can lose this one, and we do. 4-1. That's a good end there. And yeah, Buffalo was at the top for a bit, and they somehow fell out of it. We tried to trade them initially, but they weren't going for it. And thank God Colorado now bumps up, because they were teetering towards the bottom, and I thought that for sure that first round pick was going to look pretty terrible to have given up. Bobby Brink now on the top line. We do lose 4-1, so at least they're making the push in the right direction, and we're going in the direction that we want to as well. 69. We are fighting for a bottom 3 actually. It'll be pretty exciting to see how the season plays off and who ends up getting the lottery for next season. Farabee's still suspended though. 3 more games, so it could be the season. Nope. A little bit more than that, but still at least half the season. Currently, and we did look like we budged just a little bit. And I think the lowest that we can go is 29th in the league. But I mean, points for and points against aren't too far off. Minus 23 is not the worst luck that I've seen, despite all the injuries that we've had. 3-2 loss here. Regulations, what I like to see. Cates and Attard end up getting goals there. Not who you expect, but managed to get goals anyways. I'm just hoping Boston can pull out of this. 2 games at hand over us, and now Wall signs an extension. Now I'm curious to see what he signed. 2.6. That is way lower than what he did in real life. I'm surprised it wasn't updated for it, because he did sign before the game came out, obviously. So it's kind of odd that they didn't end up recognizing that. I guess maybe because I started from opening night or whatnot. So maybe that might be a factor. Yeah, apparently people are split on our performance, but I don't think they're going to replace us. 69 makes us tied with Bruins. 1 game at hand for them. And we're also tied with Blackhawks as well. So the bottom is looking pretty close. If somehow Columbus ends up making a run, I will laugh hysterically. Now Montreal, let's see if they can beat us again. And no, we massacre them. 5-1. Scott Lawton with 2 goals. Gendron with his first of the season before Richard and Hathaway. Gendron, how many games did he play? 8 games. Geez, so 71 points could push us further away from where we want. But I think there's only so much more more that we can get out of the opportunity, but I'm not even exactly sure who we're going to pick, so there's no one really jumping out other than obviously the first overall, but I doubt that we end up getting that pick. 4-2 loss to our rivals. We'll take that. Drysdale with his 11th and Bobby Brink with his 20th. And only 4 more games now. Then we jump into playoffs, and I just want Edmonton out first round. That'd be a nice early pick for us. Scott Lawton now apparently able to come back. And now Farabee's done his suspension, but doesn't look like any of them will play. I think Frost is now playing for him. 3-1 win. Not what you want to see. And then we end up doing a back-to-back game against Ottawa. Just watch. We're going to win out. I have a feeling. DPHO is going to start. Yerson looks like his overall's going up a little bit as well. 3-2 loss in shootouts. Why do we need that extra point? And now it looks like we're going to probably finish ahead of Boston. Not what we wanted. Not what we wanted at all. Handful of games left. 4-1 win against Columbus, but they weren't going to go any further. And now we have our last game against Buffalo Sabres, which I have a feeling we're going to win this one as well. And we'll take a look at our player stats. We'll have to look for Michkov as well. We win 5-2. I had a feeling we were going to win. We're going to win out, but we'll take a look at our roster, see how well everyone did. And then, yeah, obviously look at Michkov as well. So, Farabee was 67 points in 73 games, so he did definitely drop after he was hot for a little bit. 59 points for Tippett. That's probably a career high for him as well. Kate's also doing a career high. Drysdale, probably the same for him as well. And Couturier getting more points than he did last season, at least over the last couple seasons. Bobby Brink with 46 points. Lawton with 43. So again, a lot of highs here. Frost's not doing as well as what we would have expected. And then Attard doing significantly more than what we would. Hathaway with 33. And then we'll take a closer look at our goalies now. Pretty split for the most part. I mean, 38 games or 36 starts versus 46. 18 wins for both of them, and only 14 losses for DPHO. So DPHO could be our starter next season. 907 save percentage versus 909 with less games. That's pretty good. And then goals against is pretty similar there. So we'll take a quick look at, gotta go to injuries. It's going to take me a little while to figure out everything. Sanheim got 30 points in 59 games. Johnson with 22 and 50. Ellis, yeah, he hasn't played for years. 46 points in 62 games. Isn't that bad, though, for a rookie? So definitely going to bounce back next season for sure. But we'll take a look at season standings here. Managed to stay the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7th is what we finish as. We could have finished a little bit below. We could have definitely finished top 5 chance there, but 7's still pretty good. At least we got one over on our rival, and to end the season, Edmonton finishes in 5th. But it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So we'll see how the postseason looks for them. And now Michkov is ready. Ottinger signs a 7-year extension. Anderson signs with Carolina as well. Hart I don't think we're going to get nominated for any of these, so we're going to look for the Calder. And Celebrini got 42 points in 75 games, so we might actually be able to get this. And then say Plykov, I don't know how to say his name very well, obviously 54 points. So I feel as though Michkov should be able to get it. On a much worse team, I feel as though he should be destined to get it. I doubt Florida wins this season. That is one thing that I'll say. I do like this. This is a bit more cleaned up. I'd rather us have been able to make our predictions here, but sure enough, they kind of jumped the gun on it, so we're going to have to go back and make our predictions on here. All right, Nashville and Vegas. I mean, I feel as though Nashville can probably pull it away. Dallas for sure. Unfortunately, Edmonton's going to win that. I think Anaheim comes back. And looky, Toronto could be out of the playoffs in the first round again. Florida probably going to beat Tampa in the Battle of Florida, and then I always think New Jersey's going to win, but let's get Pittsburgh. I know they're rivals, but I feel as though they're still going to pull away, and then Carolina for sure. And let's see what ends up happening here. I'm curious to see if it ends up doing it much quicker and just sims the whole thing if we're not in it. So I think they might sim the whole thing, actually. All right, 2-2, so I was kind of right about that. 2-1, 3-1, Kraken up 2-1, surprisingly. Toronto managed to tie it, actually. Tampa now up, and then it's tied 2-2, and Carolina now have the edge there. Tampa Bay up 3-1, so is Dallas, and so is Seattle. Carolina's up 3-1 as well. Yeah, I'm not going to look at development. We'll kind of look at it later. And nothing really budging on this first one. And we're not going to change anything there either. And now Michkov to the active roster. At least it saves us a trip. Johnson's definitely up for the rest of the season, though. Pittsburgh up 3-2. Tampa's still up 3-1, so it is a little bit slower than last year, that's for sure. Because I know last year it kind of flies through, and I always hate this. I wish they end up making it so it was afterwards. I'm gonna go with Teppo Nieminen. Yeah, gotta go with Teppo Nieminen. I used to have his cards when I was younger, so kind of biased on that. Seattle looks like they win. Detroit now beats Toronto, and Toronto is once again out in the first round. Tampa Bay up 1-0, Carolina up 1-0, and Vegas now 2-0. So it looks like it's probably going to sim the whole thing. I know Edmonton's going to end up being in the final again. Just to ruin everything. And probably Pittsburgh too. Yeah, we're not even going to avoid this. We're just going to let it go. But I guess when you're not in it, it's less exciting. Carolina 1-0 against Tampa Bay. Edmonton up 1-0 against Vegas. Carolina now with a 2-0 lead. I guess it's because there's nothing for us to really add to it, right? I don't necessarily hate it, so at least we know it for next time, and we'll just make our predictions at the beginning of this the playoffs. So standing wise, yeah, I'm gonna go with Edmonton's gonna win this. I think Edmonton wins over Carolina. Tampa Bay's now out and up 3-2, and they're probably gonna put the dagger in the last game here. But I'll give it to Edmonton. Development report now. Luchenko looks like he's primed to start next season. We will definitely bring him up. 5-star potential now, possibly. And Surin not looking as good, but he's only 18, so definitely can move a lot from there. So is Oliver Bonk, but He's actually 20. Wow, okay. That's not a good start. But we could also be wrong. As soon as he comes to our team, it could mean something different. And 3-2 lead. Kind of jumped out there. And Connor McDavid looks like he's going to have a chance there. So now it gets... Sorry, I don't know why they wouldn't just do it at the end. Vincent Danfus, one of my favorite players. Gonna have to give it to probably Chara as well. I mean, Ryan Miller never won anything. Neither did Cujo. Gonna have to give Bringdamore, and I mean, Marlowe never won anything. Neither did Thornton. Let's go Gonchar. Everyone from the left. And Vegas actually managing to get the upset. 4-3. So now I don't know what to think. I think Vegas wins it. 2-0, 3-0. This is a sweep. And it's a sweep. Oh my god, not even close. Not even close. So let's see how well Vegas did in terms of their players. At least we don't get the worst pick. But Eichel with 94 points, Hertl with 62. So there's a huge drop between that, but someone could also be injured as well. How their goalies do. Samsonov, I didn't even realize Samsonov, but he's their backup. And then Aiden Hill with 33 wins. Where did they finish in the regular season? 40 wins, so had to have been like a 7th seed. Yeah, they were probably a 7th seed. Wow, sorry, 8th seed. 8th seed managed to win. Go figure. How will they do in the postseason? Barbashev ends up getting 29 points in 24 games after only getting 40 points in 82. That is ridiculous. Eichel with 22 and 24, and same thing with Hertl getting insane amount. And then Hill, I mean, guess we'll have to look at goalie stats playoff wise. 16 wins, 7 losses, and 924 save percentage. That's going to win you every single year. So that's after season 1. We'll end the episode here. For the next episode, we'll probably end up doing the draft, free agency, and then kind of do season 2 as well. We'll do at least full seasons for now. After that, we might end up splitting it up. But we'll be posting for 12 o'clock Eastern Time every single day. So hopefully you like this series. Leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. And thank you for watching.